What's up, everybody? We are back. It is Comic Conversation. I have no idea what episode number it is. I just realized that, but screw it. We're rolling with it. It's been a while. It's been like a month, really, since we were able to get back into the show. So a lot of stuff to catch up on, just, personally with the guys here, with our folks, our friends in the chat. I'm sure you guys have a lot that has gone on in the past month for you as well. And we'll talk about all that. So we got some really good topics to talk about tonight. Walking Dead's on the list. Star Wars is on the list. Whole bunch of other things around DC. There's some ever-changing things in the DC world. So we'll talk about that stuff. Couple announcements that came out today. Something funny, actually. I don't know if you guys have watched or heard of the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina show. Something funny happened today. Well, I think it's funny. It's $50 million funny. At the end, we're going to review Green Lantern, which came out this week with Grant Morrison and Liam Sharp. I'll tell you our thoughts on that. Hopefully everybody read it. And we have, I'll tell you how long it's been since we did a show. We still haven't announced the winner of our Venom box office weekend predictions. So I'm going to have to do that tonight, too. So I'll do that at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. Yeah, we're back, so it's cool. Nice to be back in the saddle again, right? I was going to say something else, too, but let me get some shout-outs, actually. That's what we do, right? Yep. Amazing Murphinator says 4 more minutes, so nice to have you here with us. Hopefully it's live for you. Iron Galactus was first. He goes, yeah, the return. So, yeah, he's happy we're back, too. I see Brian B. He says, what's up? What's up back to you, my friend? And Juan Perez as well, first time here, I believe. So, nice to have you with us. And I see Gomez and TJ. A bunch of other people rolling in. So I'm glad to have everybody here. If you want to, go ahead and share this out on your social media. Pull in all our old folks. Let's get that conversation flowing like it used to a month ago. So format for this, we'll do updates, then jump into our topics, do our review, final thoughts and shout outs at the end, and then we'll wrap it up for the show. So that's our format, high level. And with that, I will kick it over to Chris. We'll find out how Chris has been recently. You don't have to go into detail because it has been a full month, but feel free to.
No detail. Just pretty much same old stuff. Wondering when we're gonna get back on, but then we're just communicating back and forth and everything like that. So I'm glad we are back. Definitely looking forward to it. Still haven't seen Venom. I'm keeping my position on that because I refuse to give money to that. I don't care how much money it made. There was no competition, and everybody it wasn't this. I can get into that later on if I want to, but just it is what it is. Not just a lot of just the same old stuff, work and everything like that. Halloween got the go trick or treat with my daughter and everything. That was fun.
Nice.
But yeah, so just kind of just relaxing in the downtime that we had, and just happy to be back.
Awesome, glad to have you back. It's okay. All right, Edwin, how have you been in the past month?
Pretty good. Busy with some things that we'll talk about maybe in the upcoming week. But I got a CBCS submission today, and usually it takes a couple 2 or 3 days. And they sent it out yesterday, and I got it today. And then I realized, oh yeah, they're in Dallas, not in Florida anymore. So that's why I got it so quick. But
couple books, right?
Yeah, no, that's pretty exciting. I'll probably do a video, but yeah, other than that, not much. Just pressing a lot of books, doing this little project, and really just kind of hanging in there because, as you guys notice, dude, Thanksgiving and Christmas is going to be right around the corner. It's so rapidly approaching. So it is.
Yeah. So eBay. All right.
They want your money.
That's right. Pay up. You won the auction.
It's you've been outbid.
That's right. Pay us more. We want more of your money.
I'm surprised how well you guys know these little tones and dings and bells and stuff.
We're all in the same boat together.
Yeah.
Same affliction with comics.
We've got the same apps installed.
We know the we know the struggle. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what's up in in Strictly. No, wait, not Strictly. In
No,
Exile
Justin.
State.
He's in exile.
Yeah, man. It has been a minute, so it's good to be back.
Gotta kick the dust off the tire there.
I think the weekend after the last show we did, I went to a con. So I was able to pick up a Daredevil. Wow, what number was it? Hold on. I gotta look it up. I gotta pull it out. Hold on. It's Daredevil number 6. Right? Yeah. Oh. I got a number 6. It's and it's like a lower grade. And then I picked up a Hawkman number 3 from Silver Age. Yeah. So working on that. Other than, mainly for comics, it's just been, mainly newer books. Other than that, haven't really been hunting too much. Yeah. Been playing a whole bunch of Magic. Played in the Grand Prix last weekend here in Atlanta. That was a lot of fun.
Sweet.
You realize how horrible you are really fast. You also realize that if the person, your opponent, if they say they drove like more than a state away to get there, they're probably going to win. Yeah.
They're there to win, yeah.
Yeah. They're probably going to beat you. It was really cool, though, because I played against like international players and top 8 players in the world because they're here for this weekend, which the actual is Pro Tours here this weekend. So nice. It was pretty cool and humbling. And, got to hang out with some of those guys last night, too. So it was good stuff.
Nice. Cool. Well, yeah, you've been busy then. How many rounds did you make? A couple rounds in, or?
I played last weekend. I played 2 on Friday, 3 rounds on Saturday, and 3 rounds on Sunday.
Okay, cool.
So one enough for a free box. Hey,
there you go. Perfect. That's good. Yeah, and you didn't have to travel out of state for it.
That's right. I got to sleep in my own bed each night.
Sweet. That's cool. So, I've just been really busy with, I was on away for work. So I managed to go to a couple places while I was out in California. So I get a video coming up for that. I won't dwell on that too much. I like to, I'm sure you guys do too, just, when you travel to a new place, Google up a comic shop and try out a new one. Yeah, that's always fun. So I found 3 places to go to. I'll put up like I said, a video later on. I actually was in Agora Hills, is the name of the town, and while I was there, a World War II plane crashed on the 101 right on the highway. Yeah, it was like in flames and stuff. I didn't get to see it, unfortunately. It's funny, like with California, they put the in front of everything. Like here, I don't say the 95, I just say 95. But out there, they're like the 101, the 405. Right? It's interesting. And then my work headquarters is actually in Thousand Oaks, which you may know from the news this week. The past couple of days. Unfortunately, luckily nobody I know is involved in that, but still not good news. So there was that. We missed Walking Dead Day here. Picked up some blind bags though, so got those to show off. Got some good pulls actually. Went to Phil's comic shop, Brian B's spot, and some good pulls there. And of course Halloween. Had a couple people come to the door. I had a stack of comics to give out and didn't get through the whole pile unfortunately. So I got to figure something else out.
Really, you're handing out
comics and candy, man.
That's a good idea.
Kids coming through, you get to get rid of some stuff, and then you also get to like put comics in the hands of the next generation of the hobby. So
there you go.
You never know, that might be that kid's first book, and who knows what that'll bring for them. We all had a first book, and look what happened to us. So you never know. But win-win there. So that's pretty much it for my updates. Couple of videos coming up for me. Next week or so, I'll get to those. And then, with the holidays coming up and I'm moving at the end of the month to a new place locally. Who knows? We may have to skip another week here and there, or move it around. So we'll talk about that. But, I'm just glad to be back, right? So I see some more people rolling into the chat. So thanks for joining us. We're back. So all right, let's jump into the topics. The first thing I had, a lot of the stuff came out pretty recently. We missed some of the older stuff, and because people have talked about that ad nauseum, so I don't want to re-dwell on some things. So I kind of focused on some of the newer news that dropped. Something that came out today. Do you guys like Pacific Rim? At least the first one.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So Netflix is going to be doing an anime series. It's going to be part of their slate for Asia, but I'm sure it'll, they get these contracts and the rights for like digital and streaming and online, and there's different ones. So I'm sure we'll get it here as well. Basically, same idea. It's going to follow two siblings, a boy and a sister. They find a Jaeger, and they use the Jaeger and this like war, backdrop to kind of like find their parents. So that's how it's going to be. Kind of like follows along with them, and it's by Craig Kyle. You know who Craig Kyle is?
Nope.
Who's Craig Kyle?
Chris Yost and Craig Kyle created X-23. Craig Kyle was a writer for Thor Ragnarok. And then Greg Johnson's attached, and he did X-Men Evolution, which is a pretty decent animated series. But yeah.
Is that the one where Wolverine was pretty much the leader?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And then didn't that turn into Wolverine and the X-Men? Like that was after the evolution was the...
He kind of like became the professor.
Yeah.
For them. Yeah.
Because he's the most popular.
Well, no,
exactly.
He's the oldest.
He's the one that everybody knows. Jackie O is back. All right, Jackie O's here. Says it's been so long, I almost forgot. That's right. Yeah, it's good to take a break. We come back feeling refreshed. I mean, this, don't get me wrong, this is a lot of fun to do. I love hanging out with you guys, with people in the chat, doing it every week. But sometimes you just kind of need a break. Your life kind of like forces you to take a break. But when you come back from whatever the reason for that break was, whenever you come back, you just feel kind of like reinvigorated. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. So, yeah. So next thing, Andrew Lincoln, big Walking Dead episode that came up. He obviously plays Rick Grimes. Talked about this. I have like and you guys can always join too, but I did one episode of continuing the conversation. So it's some of the topics that don't make it to this show that can go over that show and just whatever else. I found an article on Forbes about 2 months ago. They were talking about doing Walking Dead movies. Series of movies and a bunch of other properties. Like, not only does AMC want to, like, people have been talking about like, Walking Dead, it's going to be winding down, and they're not going to be doing much more. Maybe a season or two left. Like, can Daryl and Michonne really carry the show? Or but truth be told, the ratings are declining for the show, but it's still like tops for AMC. Like, it's up there. And they want to actually not only not wind things down, they want to ramp things up. So they're doing multiple movies starring Andrew Lincoln, who's Rick Grimes. So it's going to be him, and then Scott Gimple is going to be attached too, who's very important to the Walking Dead show. And production's going to be going into first one anyways, like really quickly, like beginning of 2019. So yeah. That could be tied into why they want to take him off the show and just put him to the movies. You know what I mean? It wasn't maybe like necessarily him just like sick of it. It was just kind of redirecting him to the silver screen, perhaps. What do you guys think?
That's not a bad idea. Yeah. That's not a bad idea. I think that if they could, I don't know, squeeze a trilogy out of it and just kill him in the last episode or something. I don't know, whatever Robert Kirkman's script that he has for the character or whatever, that would be a great idea because why not charge people $15 a ticket to see that, or however much prices are in the most expensive part of the world or the US. But yeah, they can get expensive. But anyways, yeah, I think it's a great idea because with it declining, I think that, and not only that, but you can end this, like, let's just say, for example, they're ending this season, it'll be the last season, and then do the movie when the new season usually comes out in, what is it, like October or whatever, and then just do one every 2 years. And yeah, I think they can make a lot of money off of it.
I don't know. I mean, it's weird, like, because if he's gone from the show, like, and that's it for him. How you gonna have? I mean, if the movie's gonna be like prequel movies, I guess, like, or taking place within that universe, just not, prior to, other events. It could be a little weird. Like that movie better be good. And I say it like this: if the very first one isn't good, they're gonna have some trouble.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, and the thing is too. I mean, if they feel, I mean, the actors themselves are the ones that are like, yeah, we've done this long enough. Like, we want to do other things. So that's where they're running into the problem. And yeah, I mean, for Andrew Lincoln to be like, all right, look, 3 more movies, 3 more paydays, I'm good at. Yeah, I can take. It's just. I don't know. I think to be honest, I think that it's actually probably run its course, and it's about time that they do wind it down, even if they have to do it different from what the comic does. Just move on and let it go. Just because at this point, I mean, they're definitely gonna run it into the ground to the point where it's just like nobody cares and wants to watch it anymore.
Yeah,
that's what I see at least. I mean, I don't know. I think really I think they lost the most steam after the governor died. I think that whole like area
a few seasons ago,
power and all the rest of it. I think once that all like kind of just like once he died, you lost. It's kind of like in like Breaking Bad, where it's just like you had all these different people go, but like once Gustavo Fring was done, it was just like you had to kind of figure out who the next like person was going to be that Walter White had to go up against. But I think they knew that no one at all is going to be as like just as much of an antagonist as Gustavo Fring was. So it's just like okay, that's why they ended it 2 seasons later. It was like, all right, he's done. We're gonna go ahead and move on to somebody else and let that be it. So I think they've kind of past that point at this because I mean they're if not I mean right up next to the comics. I mean they're very close to like where the comics are, and it's just like you're running out of source material.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do?
Right. I want to address. Bake the Snake said. I think it was Bake the Snake. He said he heard a rumor that they're doing it was a Breaking Bad movie. So yes, that's true. Bryan Cranston confirmed it, but he did go on to say, I haven't gotten a script. I haven't read a script. I don't know what it's about, and I may not even have Walter White in it because he hasn't gotten a script. He doesn't know.
I guess but started with theories about it, like what the like the last episode versus everything else, and I mean the I guess the biggest consideration now is who is going to be in there from the main cast.
Exactly. Yeah. Will Saul be in there?
He's going to be in there.
Saul Goodman.
Walt Jr. Is Walter Jr. going to be in the movie?
Yeah. That slice of pizza on the roof.
If you do a trilogy, who are the 3 main characters? You got Michonne, you got Rick, and then everybody says they're going to riot anyways if Daryl gets killed, so you might as well kill him the last episode.
Well, I would do it. I would.
Her last movie.
Jesus, and that's a cool character. I want to know more about his background and where he got all them ninja skills from.
I
don't know.
2 hours though. That's a lot. That's a lot of content. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're gonna do it character driven. Just one character per story. That's a lot to deal with. That's a lot of content to put in there.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, kill one off in each movie if they went that route.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
Let's see what happens. I would do something like that just because I think after the first person dies, people like if you go to 1 and 2 and both of them die, it's like all right, I already know what's gonna happen in this one. This is a waste of time.
Yeah. So according to Variety, it says series of AMC studio films, blah blah blah, are planned to continue the story of Rick Grimes. So based on that, his story arc will go through all of these, and whoever he meets or whatever. That's otherwise, but these are going to be Rick Grimes centric films.
Maybe we'll see Rick go to college.
Oh, and Philly's Superman just said that. Yeah.
Let me ask the panel this question, and maybe the chat can chime in.
I agree. Yeah.
When's the last time everybody's like? Is everybody pretty current and keeping up with The Walking Dead? Because I haven't watched a series in probably 3 years.
The last time I watched.
How long?
The governor was still alive the last time I watched that.
Oh, okay. Dang, that was a while ago, man.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah. Hey, maybe it's like everyone died finally, and there's no more zombies. Just him walking around like Last Man on Earth style.
That was the thing. Was I stopped watching it when it kind of quit being about zombies there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of like, well, it's not what it's supposed to be about. So I kind of quit watching it, and that was during the crap. I even forgot the guy's name.
Governor?
No, with Lucille.
Negan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was like maybe toward the end of that season with him.
You remember the bat more than you remember
the character.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because the problem is with that, like, and that's exactly the thing that I kind of started falling out of it with, was that it wasn't about zombies anymore. It wasn't. I mean, it was just like you have all these, just really, like, just, not quite psychotic, but just diabolical people out there that are just so much of more of a big threat. And I guess you could. I mean, if something like that did happen, that is the realistic thing that would happen. You'd have to worry more. I mean, the zombies would become secondary. The people that are still around and are able to scheme and plot and just be these, like, really visceral, nasty people are going to be the ones you have to worry about. I mean, the zombies are just kind of like, they're out there, but we can kind of manage our way around them. So that brings an element of reality to it. But what was the most intriguing though was the fact that the zombies were there, and then now that they're a non-factor, it's just like, oh, well, just gotta shoot this guy in the head. Like, this is easy. Like, there's no horde of zombies to worry about. I mean, there is, but there isn't.
Mm-hmm.
Juan Perez said he's current with the comics. However, he stopped watching when the Carl stuff went on. And then I heard like this. I'm more excited for Thor's Day. Yes, we're the four Norsemen of Thor's Day. For this show than The Walking Dead. And one says, I hate when they go off the base material. Yeah, they're kind of following the trajectory, but they're definitely taking some liberties. And then Make the Snake says, yeah, TJ, I think they might try a past, present, and future with the Rick Grimes movies, but that's just my opinion. That might be interesting. Each one is like a specific point. And, it might be cool.
That's funny, man, because even the vibe in the chat is like people just don't really, I guess, seem to care too much. Because I've seen YouTube channels blow up just doing YouTube channels strictly on Walking Dead content, weekly episodes and whatnot.
But the comics, those variant covers, is it Bill Sienkiewicz who's doing them?
Yeah. Yep.
Those things are hot, man. Those things get scooped up fast.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel sorry for Andrew Lincoln if he's really now roped into doing 3 movies as some character he's been for 10 years.
He's like, damn it, I can't get away. And then Philly Superman said he wanted to like spend more time with his family, but now he's got to do 3 movies. He's probably like, damn it.
I mean, that guy in himself. I mean, because he was one that said it, and it's just like, you got to look at you look at the actress who plays Michonne. I mean, she's already in other things too. Like, she's Mother in All Eyes on Me. She's in the MCU, which is
Black Panther. Yeah.
People that want to branch out.
She was Tupac's mom.
She young for that?
I think that him,
Oh, and don't forget Sonequa. Wasn't she on the show too?
Yeah.
What?
It's one of those things that like
confusing things.
It's tough to kind of sit there and be like, okay, a TV show. This is it. Like, I think people kind of. I think that right now what's going on is just that a lot of these shows,
Sasha,
action shows and stuff, kind of run the. They run the same thing of having to be like, okay, so we're gonna make this show, we're gonna keep it on there, and it's just like they kind of try to use that sitcom formula of many seasons. The thing is, sitcoms can run many seasons just because of the shorter episodes, and it's just like you don't really have to have a hardcore tied-in storyline where it's just like, okay, I mean, you can just have a season that's completely like just unrelated to everything else, and just let that run. And so these long out dramatic shows, the ones that have been on for a long time, it's just like at some point they want to end just because it's a lot of work. I mean, even Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, they're up to season 8. I mean, and 7 and 8 are both half seasons. But just about everybody involved in those shows is like, I can't wait for this to end. Like, I love doing it. I'm happy. I would never change it for the world, but it's a lot of work. Like Kit Harington was just like, he was relieved when he died. He was when he died the first time. He's just like, I'm just happy it's over.
It takes away from anything else they can do.
Yeah, he was just. I mean, like, and that's the thing. I think that he was saying that he wanted to do other things. Like there's other things out there that he wants to try to pursue, but he's been Jon Snow all this time. He wants to let Jon Snow go.
So, kind of with that in mind, Ewan McGregor, he was Obi-Wan a long time ago, right? And they wanted to do a whole series of like a Star Wars story, with Solo and Boba Fett and all these people. One of them was Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor. So after we've talked about it a lot, so I won't kind of go into that again. But with Solo and Last Jedi and the reception for that, and they decided they want to slow down, and they're not doing those anymore. So no more Obi-Wan movie, none of those. So Warner Brothers said, "Hey, Ewan, now that you have some time free, why don't you come over here and play Black Mask in our Birds of Prey film?" And he goes, "All right, that sounds like a pretty cool idea. I think I will." That's not exactly how I went down, but you get the idea. Ewan McGregor as Black Mask versus Birds of Prey. What do you think?
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. I think he's going to be outside of what you normally see him as, and I think that's gonna. I think he's gonna bring his own unique flair to it. That would be pretty cool.
I just see him playing like a 20s style gangster.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the zoot suit and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see, especially because he's a little older. I see him being, I see him being kind of like, venerable old type, like mob, old type crime, figure. Not something where it's just like, you see him actively. I see him kind of like moving more behind the scenes and only getting involved when he just absolutely has to. So I think he can do a lot with that. I think that he's a good enough actor that he can bring a lot to that role.
Yeah. Yeah, Birds of Prey. There'll be lines around the block. Not. That's funny. Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
They see Barbara Gordon on screen.
Yeah, should be good, or it could be good. I mean, so here's one that kind of a deep cut for DC. Talking about lines around the block. It is in our slate here. I'm gonna jump around. DC once again teaming up with CBS. Want to do a Secret Six drama series. Has a production commitment already, so that's one step in the development process, an important one. So it's going to follow obviously 6 people that don't know each other. They got these abilities, and that's basically it. They haven't announced who's going to be in it, but I will tell you that Rick Maragi, who did Suits and Charmed and The Good Guys for USA, I think, he's going to be writing it. And then Bill Lawrence, who was one of the guys who made the show Scrubs, is also going to be EP on the show. So we don't know a lot about it, but based on those shows like Suits and Scrubs and everything, you kind of can get a feel for the direction that they want to go with it.
Yeah.
Right? And there have been really big name characters that have been part of the 6, right? So who knows who they'll pull for it.
Yeah. That seems to me is going to be, it's going to have its serious side, but also it's going to have its funny side too, because you have Scrubs in it. But as far as the I think most shocking thing with that is CBS. Wow, surprised not
CBS.
Checking with CW.
Yeah, they're not going to. No, if anything, I would have thought DC Universe.
Yeah, exactly. But right. You know what? That makes sense though, just to have just to have an actual network television presence as well. For everybody who doesn't subscribe, it's just like, and then what you do is, you kind of do like, WWE, but this amount of money, you could have all this. Look at, we could be like this show here, and that's great, but look at all the rest of this nice shiny stuff we have over here for you. Yeah,
could be like Vince and announce $100 million hotel and then have it go nowhere.
Yep.
You're absolutely right. Kind of spread everything around and kind of, Disney is doing the exact same thing. Everyone's like, that's not going on Disney Play. Like, why? But it makes complete sense to have your hand in multiple channels of media,
Yeah, because you try to force everybody into one location and not everybody's going to want to pay money just to see your content.
Yeah, and God forbid, DC Universe fails. I don't think it will, but if it did, then you're screwed, right?
Yep.
But
yeah,
yeah, kind of like the whole like eggs in one basket thing. You don't want to do that.
Because I think too, also, that also helps set up some good relationships between companies. Because if you just pull all your content and say no, like we'll just put it on there, and like you said, if it does fail, it's going to be very hard to go back and shop all that stuff to other companies. Like, hey, listen, don't you want to? You still want to make this show? Like, no, we don't. You guys kind of just gave us the finger, so you're on your own. Bye bye.
Exactly. Yeah. So, all right, since we're on the topic of DC stuff, we got to mention this. It came out over the past couple weeks, I guess, but because we took our month-long hiatus, we didn't really get to touch on it too much. Two things I'm going to talk about, or we're going to talk about rather, Wonder Woman 1984, aka Wonder Woman 2, and the Flash movie. So those two movies have both been pushed back. 2020, 2021. Wonder Woman's 2020. Flash realistically would be 2021. That's not like, confirmed or anything, but Wonder Woman is supposed to come out at the end of next year. That got pushed. It's just 7 months, so June 5th. Basically, what Patty Jenkins will be back, but what they were saying was, Wonder Woman did so great in the summer. Let's kind of rework things and have that be pushed there to the summer again and see how it does there. And there was something else. Who was it? Oh, that's for the other movie. Yeah. So it was going to be competing with episode 9 if they had kept it where it was. Now they don't have to worry about that. So that's good. I mean, it's only 7 months. Like, it sounds like they pushed it to 2020. Oh my God. But it's 7 months, so it's not that bad. And then you'll have like Chris Pine, Kristen Wiig will be in it, Gal Gadot, obviously, Patty Jenkins. So I think it'll be good, even with the push. The other one is The Flash. That got pushed as well. Never really got a green light, never got an official release date, and it's kind of been pushed and pushed and pushed. They said it might start shooting this March. The script for it is kind of like still being tweaked. And this has been a tough movie because Ezra Miller is attached to the Harry Potter stuff that's been coming out. The third one starts shooting next July. So he's been busy with this one that's just about to come out. And then the next one starts shooting like just in a few months, July of next year. So to find space for him to also do a Flash movie, it's kind of tough schedule-wise. So that one's being pushed as well, which tells you that that's probably not going to be like the whole Flashpoint reset thing, What I've heard... I feel like I'm rambling. What I've heard is that Wonder Woman might actually be that reset point. So there you go.
I don't want to
digest there, but
I don't want it. I don't want it.
Yeah.
They did not make it, and I'd be really happy.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that Flash uniform ever again.
Jackie, let me read Jackie's comments. The limp-wristed emo hipster Flash can be pushed until the end of time for all I care. That's what he said. Yeah. And then one person says, I'm a bigger fan of the Flash show. Absolutely. They should have used that guy. TJ Watson, Wonder Woman moved to a better spot, less competition. Smart. Exactly right. You left out the part in the two. Yeah, exactly.
It's funny.
Just general consensus there is that, yeah.
It's funny you guys are saying this because you guys are talking about the Flash. But in my mind, I'm getting the CW Flash.
Yeah.
Not realizing that you're talking about the, I guess he's half Asian or something. Flash or whatever.
Justice League Flash.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, presents like inside whispers that they're recasting Flash with either Andy Dick or Chris Tucker. I'm sorry, I just pictured them both in my head as the Flashes that cracked me up. But yeah.
They should make him what's his name? Wally, right?
Yeah.
He'd be better as Wally.
I thought
the movie one.
I thought they Ezra Miller
is it Wally?
In the Harry Potter.
Am I thinking of Wally? Who's the one with the red hair?
Wally.
Yeah.
We haven't seen a Wally yet.
That's what I'm saying. Like, make the movie Flash a Wally and give us like a normal Flash.
That's what they. Yeah, that's what they should have done.
Yeah.
I thought that
Yeah.
Miller in the Harry Potter thing, because he was
What?
he was in the. I thought that his character died in the last Fantastic Beasts movie.
Who?
Dude, Ezra Miller, like the Flash, the Limpers the Flash.
I haven't seen those other movies. Sorry.
So the Fantastic Beasts movie, he's in that movie, and he's very limp-wristed in that movie too. But but his character died in that movie. So I figured he would he wouldn't be anything else in there. But apparently,
yeah.
I guess they want to bring him back. I didn't know all that. I figured that he just he died in that movie and that was it.
He meets the Griswolds. Yeah. So he meets the Griswolds and they go and they take the villain on all the rides and punch the thing in the face.
How many Flashes are there? I'm not a big DC guy, but it sounds like there's quite a few.
3.
There's a lot. All different colors.
I mean,
3.
There's 3 main ones, but I mean, there's other people who are associated with the Speed Force that
they're not called the Flash.
True.
No, like Jesse Pinkman's the Flash.
Right.
Don't confuse him with the Flasher. That's the guy.
The Flasher
in the trench coat and the bushes guy.
Yeah.
Garrett.
Pretty easy when I catch that.
Yeah.
Then there's Barry Allen, West, and Spot Allen.
Say Ellen?
But right now, there are 3 Flashes in the comics.
Yeah, 3 main ones, yeah.
Even though one's kind of dead.
Yeah.
But
spoilers. No, I'm just kidding.
But you can't get rid of Jay Garrick. He's always still there.
Yeah.
He's on a different Earth.
He's like an immortal Flash.
He's so cool. He has what's it called? He has that Hermes helmet in there, the golden helmet.
Yeah.
Not the golden. He's got a metal helmet. He beat I remember
silver one.
Episode, he took it off and beat somebody with it. I was like, wow, that guy's cool.
Mr. Unknown says fight the 3 Jokers.
Oh yeah, Bart Allen was a Flash too.
3 Flashes, 3 Jokers.
3 Jokers. That's so foolish. This should be just one evil entity that
one Joker
Batman couldn't beat.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that book. They've been teasing that for the damn longest time. Jeff Johns is going to be writing it.
Like wasn't Rebirth was supposed to be just 1 year, then you get the Watchmen coming in, and then you're supposed to get Doomsday Clock, and then there was supposed to be like the merger of the Watchmen into the universe. And man, we're like
we fell for the lie.
Figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now it's going to be like half a decade.
Yeah. That out, and it's like this is only supposed to intended to take a year. I wonder all the plans they had. I saw like this year we're gonna do this, and then the next year we're gonna flip that into this and this and this. Yeah, we're gonna be in our 70s by the time they get done with like the whole rebirth plan.
I don't know. I see them letting everything to go to like Batman, probably hit like issue 100, and they're gonna reset everything again.
And then they'll need a new marketing campaign to build these rebirths, because technically once it's fully merged, that's a new universe again.
They're just gonna go back to the old universe, old 52.
Yeah.
So they're gonna do what Marvel has done already.
Yes.
And you know who's gonna be there?
Yeah. No, that's the one guy that will be alive. You know who needs to come back? Ted.
Cord? Yeah.
Give us Ted back. Yeah.
Keep wishing, Mr. Unknown.
Yeah.
Maybe he comes back. Yeah. 25 cents?
That's right.
Well, sometimes that's 25 cents.
If you give me 25 cents, I'll tell you a story.
Sure.
Yeah. So, Disney Plus.
Yes.
Disney with the plus sign, kind of like ESPN Plus, right? That's the new official name for Disney streaming service. Got a little plus mark there. New show they announced. We're talking about shows and stuff, so that's why I figured I'd mention this. And I mentioned Star Wars earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to have another live-action Star Wars show, which is a prequel to Rogue One, and it's going to have Diego Luna in it as Cassian Andor. Yeah. So he was you guys know who he is. Pretty much everyone died, so it kind of has to be a prequel, right? Mm-hmm. So it's pretty cool, I think. I mean, that was a pretty badass movie. Probably, arguably, the best Star Wars movie of the past, what, 10, 15 years?
So they're
Arguably.
really trying to,
Yeah.
they're really kind of lengthen out that time between Revenge
Yeah.
of the Sith and A New Hope. Like, it's just like, you know,
Yep.
it's like, no, man, but look, all this extra shit happened. You understand? All this happened in this span of time right here. It's just like, wow. Like, I mean, because
Yeah.
it's funny too, because it's like, it makes me wonder, like, so they gonna, when they get a chance, are they gonna expand in between, you know, Empire and Jedi, or, you know, between New Hope and Empire, that much time?
There's
you know,
a lot of
well, it's like,
space.
you know what? Even though, you know, in canon it was like 5 years, but 5 years, all this stuff happened. You understand? Like, I mean, it's cool. I think it's cool that they're gonna be doing that, but it's just like, you know, I'm just wondering if they're gonna. I'm just wondering if they're so afraid to leave that, you know, the I guess parameters of the Skywalker saga to go into newer things, because it's just like, it just seems like, you know, everything that they're doing still has to take place in that, you know, right in that core trilogy area. You know, the 4, 5, 6 area, or 3.5 to 6 area. It has to happen right there, and then everything else they're doing is just happening like just that. It's just like, you know, like, I'm really looking forward to them going like, all right, look, so this is Skywalker Saga's done, and we're gonna go into this area now. I mean, you know, you can still make mention of them, but I mean,
once we get past 9, they'll kind of have to do that, you know.
Well, if you're gonna do an Obi-Wan prequel, you're gonna have to fill in that time a little bit, anyways. Like, because they were gonna use that, you know, to fill in that space a little bit.
They would have to do the stuff where, like, Darth Maul goes to, you know, try to kill young Luke, and, you know, all that type of stuff. Because it was really confusing, like, for people who don't follow the books or the animated shows or, you know, anything else. How is Darth Maul back? You know, like, what the fuck? I thought he died. I thought he fell down a hole, you know? But that was a different time. But
how old is Luke in A New Hope? What would you say, about 17? Let's say.
Yeah, I would say about that.
I mean,
Yeah,
there is a pretty decent amount of time between, you know, Revenge of the Sith and, you know, and the New Hope, but still, it's just like, I just find it to be like, so you're gonna have an Obi-Wan movie, but then you have, you know, you have the Obi-Wan, you have Rogue One, you have whatever this new show is gonna be, and I mean, they're not just gonna do it for one season and let it go. I mean, they're probably gonna try to lengthen it out as long as they can. And you also have Rebels, right? Because Rebels takes place in that span as well, right?
Yep. And that's where they showed that scene I was describing.
Yeah. So it's just like, so I mean, it's a lot of stuff happening, and just between those two movies itself.
Yeah.
I just really think that you know, there's a way to. I mean, I would just hope that they have a plan to go on past, you know, just this part of the whole Star Wars, you know, mythos, instead of just being like, okay, it's just here, like it's all just contained in this one little box.
No, I think that their plan is, let's drop the Star Wars name, and that will get people to sign up for Disney Plus.
Yeah,
seriously, well, I mean, I don't know if Kathleen Kennedy is that much further than that, because
yeah,
right,
well, like they'll probably generate more buzz once they start announcing more shows. You know, and on top of that too, you also have to go back and tell everybody what other content they're getting. Like, you know, what's, you know, like what else is included? Oh, all the classic Disney movies, all this, all that, you know. And I mean, I would have to think too, like you know, aside from, you know, their cable channel and everything else, there's definitely going to be, you know, new shows that like will be exclusive just to that for kids, for, you know, just outside of, you know, just the, you know, action and sci-fi genre that like they're trying to reel lesson with, you know. There has to be.
Yeah, I agree, Jack. Yeah, 100%. I tried to watch Star Wars Resistance. That's the new show that came out. It's very disappointing. Yeah, definitely.
I haven't even seen that.
Yeah, and talking about Phil, yeah, I agree. They're doing the same sort of model that we're talking about with Star Wars, with the MCU itself. We talked about, obviously, you know, Avengers is still going on. We got the 4th one coming up. But we talked about Loki and Scarlet Witch. Loki's like confirmed now. That's official. Before it was like, you know, gonna happen, but not like officially, you know. So now it's official. But we also have, along with that, talk about 2 more films about following Falcon and Winter Soldier. With the writer of Empire was going to be on it. So even though we have all this other stuff, this is the first one to have an actual writer attached to it. And the typical length for these, so Loki, Scarlet Witch, and then Falcon and Winter Soldier, about 6 to 8 episodes in that time frame. So it's kind of an interesting time with these streaming services, and both sides are doing it, both of the big two. Kind of like, and I know the CBS thing kind of is a counterpoint to this, but they're kind of like pulling everything back into their own stable, right? Like they just canceled Iron Fist and Luke Cage. Netflix won't have that anymore unless they do Heroes for Hire. And now they're taking these series and they're putting them on their own. Same with the Star Wars stuff, It's like, oh, we need a break. Star Wars not for a while, but you can get it over here if you need it. You know? So it's interesting. That's the new war. That's going to be the war of 2019, 2020. DC Universe, which has a huge head start, and Disney Plus, with, of course, Netflix kind of like in the middle of that,
Mm-hmm.
So
Could you imagine if like you subscribe to like, I don't know, 10 different streaming services and you realize that you have all these streaming services and you're not watching them a whole lot.
Yeah.
And then so you want to cancel, and it's like trying to cancel your AOL subscription where it's like pulling teeth with the customer service rep, and like they don't want to help you or anything.
Honestly, like I could see that happen. I mean, it's so easy to sign up for those things. It's like, all right, this is $10 a month.
Exactly. It's like, what's $6,
Yeah, and they'll offer you free months or whatever if you just give them your credit card number or whatever.
Well, if you did the pre-order for DC Universe, like before the official launch date, if you paid for the year, they gave you 3 months free.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty good, but that incentivizes you. I think Philly Superman, I think he did the full year. It's going to be interesting. And they just announced, again, everybody knew, but it's official now for Swamp Thing. So you got like Derek Mears and stuff attached to it. So that's a show I'm looking forward to. And like Disney, and he just touched on this too, Disney has all this stuff that seems like it's going to be pretty much ready to go at launch. With DC Universe, it came out much quicker, but they're staggering the launches and the release of everything. So I wonder which of those two strategies will play out better. I don't know.
I mean, that's a tough one, just because, with DC, it's all new at least. But with Disney, it's just like, it's one of those things where it's very similar to like video game releases, video game console releases. It's like
with the DLC stuff.
If you come out with just one game, or let's say you come out with a launch, just like 4 games or something like that, but then the next system comes out with like 12 games. It's like a lot of people will gravitate over to that one just because there's more they can get, and then as newer stuff comes out, the system that put out 4 will catch up and hopefully be competitive. But the thing about it is just that to have all that extra content is distracting. The question is kind of like what Ewan said: are you going to watch it all? You know what I mean? And then it's just going to come down to quality. Like you can have all these different shows and movies ready to go, but if the DC streaming service is just better, it might be just worth the wait to just be like, you know what, I'm paying for this and I've seen everything, but I get excited every couple of weeks when something new comes out. So, you have that part of it.
Exactly. So we'll have to see. All right, I gotta share this with you guys. This is the thing that I thought was funny. So, Sabrina, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I don't know if you guys saw it or not. It's out on Netflix. Kind of tied to the Archie world, right? With Sabrina, teenage witch, right? She's a witch. That seems to be the new thing. Like zombies going down and the witches are going up, because now we got like American Horror Story full of witches. And anyways, that's a road I don't want to go down right now. So in the show, I don't know if did you guys see it?
I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't. No.
Okay. So there's a lot of satanic influence with it. It's not just witches or Wicca or being it's actually like ties to like straight up satanic stuff. the Satanic Temple, which is a real thing, they said that they want to sue Netflix and Warner Brothers. If you use any of our stuff, we're going to sue you. So guess what they did? They put an actual statue that temple uses to like worship in the show. They said that Netflix wants to create a satanic panic in the show. So,
Nice.
so this temple is actually suing Netflix and WB. They filed today actually a $50 million copyright lawsuit for putting that statue in the show. So pretty crazy.
That's I mean, because that's basically a religion at that point, right?
I guess So it's the actual like recognized thing, the Satanic Temple.
What I'm saying is that, but can you copyright that? I mean,
I don't know.
That's just so weird.
Yeah.
I've never heard of anything like that. Like, where it's just like if it's religious, I mean, I don't think you can.
Yeah, they can't.
Oh, they can.
No, they can't. If they truly want it to be a religious thing, then no, they cannot.
Right.
Oh, that's such a weird. Oh man, like you got some fun with that. So then it's not a real religion. It's actual just content. It's just a story. Then what you're trying to. Oh man, people like who. I can see people like really just like I mean,
not get too into the weeds.
And it's like funny just if that's what people would really believe and everything. That's what their belief structure is based on. And it's like no, this is actually just content. It's not real because this is what you said. It's copywritten material, not like religious actual text. So
yeah,
maybe they need the money because I'm pretty sure there's not a line knocking down their door to donate money to the Temple of Satan.
Genome just made a great point. He says, "What happens if they take it to court and the plaintiffs have to swear on the Bible in order to testify?" That's perfect.
Right?
They'll be like, "All right,
like,
throw it out,
dismissed." On the Bible, no, we're not going any further with this.
That's all right.
That's crazy.
That will definitely throw a loop in there.
That's so funny, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
50 million though for Netflix. That's like they could find that in their Netflix and chill couch.
Yeah.
Right.
They have one of those.
They do.
Yeah, go
Hell yeah, they do. I sat on it.
Just wear gloves. Go on the Netflix and chill couch real quick.
Yeah.
Money out of there.
It's 50 million in quarters somewhere in there. Yeah. Craziness. All right. So I just wanted, funny thing. Well, I thought it was funny.
No, that is funny.
50 million. Yeah. So.
In the forward to see how that shakes out because that's gonna be good for a laugh at some point.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be watching that one. We'll see what happens. I'm sure Netflix will have like a presser on it or something. So, and then a show. I'm sure they'll. You know what they'll do? They'll make because they have like court dramas and stuff. They have like making of a murderer and all that. Yep. I bet you what they'll do is make this into some content that people will want to watch on.
Oh my god, that'd be hilarious.
Right? They'll make all the money back. Here's your 50 million. But guess what? We just made 75 off you. So who knows? All right. Do you want to talk about Green Lantern, or do you want to know who won the Venom contest?
Venom contest.
Yeah, that's
Venom contest. We are Venom. On my planet, I'm kind of a loser. Okay, so we'll do the contest. So I have the Box Office Mojo. Let me screen share that so y'all know what I'm looking at.
What do we win? That giant size you got behind you?
The giant size? No.
I said, what do we win? That.
Oh, you want that? No.
Yeah. It's like
I lost it. I think my vote was 35 cents. So.
35 cents?
35 cents.
I don't know what it was.
$1.25. So. No, you said 77 million.
Oh, damn.
You gave it credit you didn't even think it needed.
Yeah. I mean, love it or hate it, if a movie has very minimal competition, kind of like horror movies have been doing past couple of years really well in this space, the fall season, September, October, exactly. So they do pretty well. Gravity did super well. It did amazing. Halloween just did really well. So things are doing well. What am I trying to do here? I am trying to present to everybody. Okay. So as you can see here, October 5 to 7, I clicked on weekend. which means opening weekend, and of course, it is Venom. You can see there. So far, it's made $200 million on a $100 million budget. So there you go. So weekend gross is right here, 80. If we adjust a little bit, guess what? It's still 80. 80.2. Okay. So I guess 60 million, which was kind of like right on point with some of the estimates. Let's see here. Justin, you said 71.
Nice.
Chris, you said 77.
Wow.
So far, I'm the furthest away. Edwin, you said 85. That's pretty close. That's pretty close, right? Right. Who else is here? Mr. Rhinone, he said 63. Yeah. Stay Puff, I think I saw Stay Puff earlier. He said 15 million.
What?
Yeah. TJ Watson, you said 82 million. That's pretty close too. Right. Jack Yo said 86 million. Also pretty close. Daniel, I think Daniel Yabara said 90. Rag 718 said $1.2 billion. So yep. Okay. And then let's see here. Jason Smith said 75. So those are all pretty close, right? And the gross. Oh, who dat? Yeah, who dat? You said 73 million. I thought I said that. So also pretty close.
77.
But our winner, folks, with an estimate of $81.5 million. Pretty close, right? Is Brian B.
Nice.
And he left earlier.
Good job. He had to go back to work.
Did he leave?
Yeah, he had to jump up.
Yeah, he's not in there. Tried to add him. When you try to add someone, it doesn't work. That's how you know they're going. That's how I do it. Okay, cool. So Brian B won. Congratulations. Yay. Claps or whatever, fireworks, whatever you want. So awesome. So
he gets a ASM 300, right?
I also have one of those up there.
No. Trying to make Jesse go broke, man. So is this Price is Right rules? Like you can't go over, or
not going over? Yeah.
Yeah.
You get as close as you can without going over.
Yep,
so
exactly.
That was the rules. 77, your winner is right.
Yeah.
Even though I have no faith in that movie.
Yeah, but you're on the panel, so you can't win the ASM 300.
It's just it's just a moral.
I took a loss. Stay Pop said took a loss on it.
Oh.
Stop presenting. Okay. So Brian B, this is what I have for the winner. I have this. It's the official movie collectible Venom.
That's a good one.
Custom edition.
Nice.
It is because you can only get that at AMC. I was like
only at
everybody.
AMC. Yep.
Yeah, I was bothering everybody at my movie. Like, hey, where's the
Scan did this cover
exclusive? Yeah.
And then Simon Kodransky did the interiors. This was written by Sean Ryan, who I'm sure you all know. Yeah, so this is for the winner.
Yep.
Pretty cool. And there's the back of it. So there you go. And I'll throw in some other stuff too.
What I will say when it comes to Venom is that they're probably going to stick in that same slot, but don't be surprised if they put in other movies that, like, if it comes out alongside, or if it's scheduled to come out alongside other movies that are going to be like legit competition. Don't be surprised if they move it.
Oh yeah.
Venom with Sideshow Bob is next.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Harrison as Cletus Cassidy is not a good choice. I'm sorry. So I'm keeping the same attitude for Part 2 with Carnage. It's just not gonna. People like to reward the fact that yes, it's not like from what I've been. A lot of people have said this, like, well, it ain't Spider-Man 3. It's like, okay, if I gave you a choice, of a sandwich, let me ask you, like, a food that you don't like and a shit sandwich, which is like, well, it ain't the shit sandwich. Like, I understand that, but it's still not good.
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast? No.
But Chris, you haven't even seen it, man.
It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna waste my money. I don't
come on, man.
I know a piece
can't
of shit.
Judge it and don't even.
Look, Jesse saw.
Let's just say this: Venom is on its way to approaching $600 million without Spider-Man.
Yes, without Spider-Man. There's no competition either. See, that's the other thing.
But that's any movie that comes out. I mean, what do you call it? Warner Brothers isn't going to put a Justice League film around proximity of a Marvel film, and I don't think Marvel's going to do the same thing with.
It's not a good movie. Like that's the whole point I'm trying to make. Like it can make all this money. That's great. You put it out when there's nothing else around it, so it's gonna make all that money, and people are pumping all this money into it because they want it to be good, because it's a character they like. But that doesn't mean it's a good movie.
Yeah,
because you can say it's better than Spider-Man 3 does not make it a good movie. That's like saying
that's not a very high bar to set.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is strategically, every movie studio putting on a movie is going to always try to put it out where there's not strong competition near them. That kind of goes without saying.
That's why a lot of movies move. That's why December, like next month, was really crowded with Aquaman, Alita. Mary Poppins was in there, Into the Spider-Verse, Bumblebee. All these movies are getting like pushed away from like the Marvel movie, Yeah.
Look at Deadpool, its first one. Deadpool #1, it came out in February. So, I mean,
yeah. But the thing is, it's just the way it's being talked about. Like people, well, it's not that. That's like celebrating. That's like celebrating. Having stuff. It's like saying to somebody, well, I don't have AIDS, but I have stomach cancer, and people are like, oh, like why are you so happy about that? Well, that's bad. Yeah, but it ain't AIDS. I'm good. Just like that's not how you celebrate. That's not something to be happy for. Diabetes, kid.
Diabetes.
It could have been HIV, but guess what?
Well, for
diabetes. Like that's not. Like I'm sorry. It's like, it's just the way it is. It's like,
that's just the way it is.
Well,
yeah, things will never be the same.
Like, oh, it's making all this money and this and that. You're only gonna get shit back the next time too. You realize that? Like, they made all this money putting out a shit movie, and they're gonna be like, okay, so we made a real piece of shit. Now we don't have to spend even close to that much money, and they're gonna give us more money for this one around.
Damn it, Bobby!
Wasn't it a turd in the wind?
It's just like don't reward shit movies with going to see them. Wait until they come out on television and be like, okay, now I don't have to pay extra money for this shit.
Yeah.
But if you go out there and get like it's the same thing with music. If you sit there and keep buying shit music and then all of a sudden complain that the state of music sucks, well, stop buying it. Stop buying that shit, and then you want.
That's what I say about comics with Marvel.
If you don't like it, don't buy it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's my stance.
Or buy it till you start liking it.
No,
bad advice.
Buy it till you start liking it.
That's pushing it the wrong way.
Yeah. So okay, cool. So let's go ahead and talk about Green Lantern. Talking about likes and dislikes. Did you guys get to read it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So let me just give a little thing here, just so people know. It's Grant Morrison. Liam Sharp was doing the art. This came out yesterday, so pretty recently. And it's kind of a newish sort of take. Not the take, but it's kind of like a cop type, like CSI Miami, in space type of thing. That's what I got from it. And it's been in the works for a while. Liam Sharp was on Wonder Woman for a while. I think he did, what was it, Justice League for a while. Edwin and I were talking before. Grant Morrison obviously done a lot of stuff for DC. But then he went over, he became like EIC, I think we said, for heavy metal. And he's been doing a lot of scripting for shows. Like he wrote the script for Happy, the show Happy, and a few other things too. So he's been busy on that side of the world. So he's kind of like coming back sort of to comic writing. So he paired up with his Brit friend, Mr. Liam Sharp, who's part of the Beard movement. Justin, you ever heard of that?
I have not. But over there, they used to have to pay a tax to have a beard. So I can.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's this thing where, like, if you're an artist and you have a beard, you can, like, be part of this club that they have.
Nice.
Yeah, so he's part of that. So they could team up, and here they are. They were both worked on, like, 2000 AD, stuff like that. So pretty interesting. And then I'll kick it over to Chris. What'd you think of it?
I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of heavy on the police aspect.
Yeah. with like the station calling in, like report in.
Yeah, yeah.
It reminded me of like with Dread, when, like
yeah.
I was talking to HQ.
And then it just like it seemed like the art took a turn when they went to like the actual like main story and everything like that. But I mean, it wasn't bad in that way. It was just kind of it was kind of different. I feel like they're definitely trying to build up to something. I liked that after the first few pages, it had like newsprint to it. Like at least the one that I got felt like the pages were kind of like newsprint, so I kind of had that like old comic book feel to it. And I think that where they're going with it seems kind of I think they're trying to kind of play off of the other series where you had the Dark Stars. They're trying to incorporate them into it all and make them a threat that's gonna have to take on the Green Lantern at some point. So I think it was pretty good. I don't know where it's really gonna go forward from there. So it's kind of I think for everything included with it, it definitely does enough to make you interested in to get to next issue. I don't know if it's gonna end up being a crazy success. I mean, I'll say this much because I was a big fan of the Green Lanterns series that they had done. And so now if they took away my Green Lanterns to make it, combine it into one with Howard Jordan and everything, I'm a little bit. I'm hoping that it turns out to be good because I really like that. That series with Simon and Jesse. That was really cool. But this, like I said, it's a good starting point. It's not something that's it's not something that really you have to like know all the history and everything. So it's a good jump on point for anybody who's not familiar with the Lanterns to kind of see where they're going to go with it and what it is that they're going to be exploring as far as the villains and just what type of just what type of story is going to be happening with the Lanterns. If it's going to be more of a space crime type story, or if it's going to kind of go into the older normal way of telling it, where it's just like you have the whole universe and all these different villains going to come out from the past that and love, and then see some bigger storylines and plots happen from there. So
okay. So out of 5 stars, what do you give it?
I would give it 3.5.
3.5. Okay. So here's the next question that I'll follow that up with. Should people buy it full price off the shelf, or wait till it's in the dollar bin?
That's a good question.
Isn't that a $5 book? $4 or $5?
Yeah, it's a $4.99 book.
Yep.
It's a little thicker than your average comic, but I would say, having said all that stuff, or it's just like you're not sure where it's going to go and all that. In a way, I think it would be one that you could pass by and not worry about, and just wait a few months and see if it ends up going down to like dollar bin price or whatever. Like I would say at $5 it's a little bit pricey. If it was $4, I would say yeah, absolutely. $5 is kind of it's kind of steep for this book. So what I think is an unproven book at this point.
All right, cool. That's a good assessment. All right, Edwin, what are your thoughts on it?
I'll be short. I only finished half of it. I'm not.
Well, that says a lot too, though.
Yeah. Well, no, I was reading it just before we came on. I couldn't finish it, but I'm not a big Green Lantern fan, and I kind of had a little bit of trouble reading along. I got through the first story and started the second, where how I guess he met some homeless guy in the desert and got his grocery for his girlfriend or whatever, and but
man.
Yeah, but the artwork really kind of threw me off. I always pay attention to the artwork, and I don't know, it just wasn't doing it for me. But Chris makes a good point. Being $4.99, I would have to say pass and just pick it up whenever it goes in the dollar bin or it's on sale or whatever. I can't remember if there was any first appearances in this book. Again, I'm not familiar with the history of Green Lantern, but anyways, if I were to rate just based on what I've read so far, I mean, like a 3 out of 5. That's it. It's not going to make me go out and pick up the second issue. Although I will finish reading this,
because
but I highly doubt it. Yeah,
I'm getting my $4.99 out of this book if I have to. So okay, so it was like a little bit above average, but it didn't wow you, didn't love it, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. How about you, Justin?
Kind of on the same page. I mean, I've been reading over the last several months anyway. Maybe half a year. I've been reading, Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. Before that ended, and Green Lanterns. Really, really been enjoying like Robert Venditti's work on those books or on Green Lanterns. So I don't know. It didn't like capture me, and I think a lot of it was what Edwin said. Sorry, was the art.
Yeah,
just wasn't there in this book for me. I don't know. It just wasn't that great.
Did you guys feel it like so? The initial couple of pages. Did you guys feel that once they got to Hal Jordan himself, that everything kind of just seemed to kind of fall apart with the art a little bit?
Yeah,
because that's where it changed for me. As soon as I saw him, I was like, "Oh, okay." And then
I don't know. It was like everything was elongated. Like the proportions and stuff were weird on a lot of people. But I mean, overall, the story wasn't that bad, but it wasn't. It's almost like they told us what he needs to find out already. So I was kind of confused on that.
The other thing too that I saw that like with the writing, did you guys find it to be like kind of like word heavy? Because I did a little bit. Not that it was like it wasn't. When I'm not talking about like word heavy, like how Silver Age books are. But it seemed like there was a lot more reading than you get in normal books, which is not a problem.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's just because of the writer.
That's just Grant Morris.
Yeah.
So that's another thing too. Like if you're used to regular comics where it's just like you can pretty much burn through them pretty quickly. There's dialogue here and there, but it's just like not like huge like big paragraphs and stuff. This is a little bit more heavier reading than that. Like there's a lot that Grant Morrison wants you to read and observe about the panels, other than just like the art and everything else. Like he's trying to tell you this kind of like long story, and like he loves to have characters talk to each other. Like he has a lot for them to say back and forth. So it's one that if you're not big on reading lots and lots of dialogue, you may want to skip. But Seeking Them and Asking It. So we all gave it basically like 3 out of 5. Or me, Justin, and Ewan gave it around a 3 out of 5. Just so it's kind of an average book. Not quite bad, not quite good. It's just it's unproven at this point. That's what I say.
Yeah. So I'm gonna lower the average a little bit.
Ooh.
Where do I start? $4.99, obviously. Should not have been a $4.99 book if you ask me. But you know what? It's Grant Morrison. People are going to buy it. They're capitalizing on that. Fine, I get it. That being said, I would not recommend you buying this for $4.99. Buy it digitally. Wait till it's on sale. The story itself was okay, fairly simple, fairly simplistic. Kind of gives me the feeling that we're going to have like the sort of like the villain of the week sort of format with it. Like, HQ is going to send him out, to another planet and find some other villain and, haul him back to, be arraigned or whatever. Kind of simple in that regard. If that's the case, that's not going to make me excited for, what's coming up. I'm not going to be running out and buying the next issue. Okay, so there's that. Grant Morrison, like you really either like you love him or hate him with his story. He's kind of like all over the place. He's got some funny jokes in there, right? It's actually some funny jokes. There is one scene where they're in the desert and Hal's making love to his lady. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's happening in the sky back there. But that's no shooting star. That's all I'm going to say about that. And funny stuff. The way he kind of like teams up with his artist, he's very, very strict. He will give them like, if this is the panel, sometimes people just be like, this is what's happening. This is the script. Couple like outline bulleted points for what they want. Grant Morrison will like take a full page and a half to tell you exactly what he wants that panel to look like. So a lot of that stuff is from him. And then you team him up with somebody like Liam Sharp, who has a very distinctive style.
Yeah.
very, very, very. I could keep going with the varies, but I won't. Detailed. So much so, in fact, at least for me, that I find myself stopping and looking at the panel and what's back there and what's going on. And that's cool and all, but that takes me away from the story. That takes away from the pacing. And, you know, I got to like back up sometimes because I was like looking at what's going on and be like, oh, yeah, okay, that's what just happened. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to follow with Grant Morrison's kind of jumping around his jokes and the hyper detail of the art. So I finally got through it. And I just was underwhelmed. You know, I think they kind of relied too heavily on Grant Morrison's name.
Yeah.
And just kind of rushed something out. And I know they've been playing this for a while, but it just kind of had that feeling of being rushed. So I would actually give this I don't want to say, I guess I'll just give it a 2.5. I'll be fair. Okay. Right in the middle, right there. A little bit under you guys. Half a point to a full point underneath you guys. Would I already said that? No. Buy it digitally. Save your money. Go to your shop and open up the book and take a look at that scene I was talking about. Have yourself a laugh, and then put it back on the shelf and walk away. So there you go. That being said, I do like a lot of Grant Morrison stuff. Just, I don't know. It just didn't do it for me.
Yeah, and you know, maybe it's just the first issue. Maybe it's one of those stories that'll take a little while to get going or whatever. But if the art, I don't know, it just like we said, it just wasn't for me. It just hurt to read, especially coming off like the great stories that we've just had in Green Lantern books.
Okay.
So
I have a question. Justin, you're pretty well versed in Green Lantern lore, right? Like, you know, backstory and stuff.
Yeah, they did introduce a whole bunch of new stuff in this book.
Okay, so a lot of was that Flem Lantern new?
Yeah, I haven't seen that one before.
Yeah, I thought so. I've never heard of that before.
And then all the stuff about the lanterns and like the X-ray universe and the microverse and the giant verse.
Yeah, and every lantern there's one in all the light spectrum and all realities. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So there's lanterns everywhere. Yeah, that's kind of new. So
okay.
They didn't actually introduce any characters, so we're okay.
Yeah.
And rat thing that's pretty much like Rocket Raccoon is
yeah.
That's not a new character.
Yeah. The crystal guy.
Yeah, when Seeking Nemo was like, oh, any new characters? Like none of merit. Like I mean, that guy's, if that's a first appearance, like it makes no difference. Like you got a like really weird spoof of Rocket in this book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I know. I'll keep the book because I'm a big like Flem fan. So Flem Lantern is pretty cool to me. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I'll definitely. Yeah, I'm not gonna get rid of the book or anything like that. But I don't know if I'll pick up a second physical copy of issue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. And you know, like as we're saying here on this show, like you know, the reception to it's been lukewarm at best from what I've heard and read and stuff. So demand's not going to be there. I don't foresee this #1 issue really becoming anything in the future.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
So, you know, if you want it and you like it and you keep it, fine. But I wouldn't like sit on it expecting because it has all these first appearances in it that it's going to do a whole hell of a lot.
Yeah.
In terms of value.
This was just a starting point issue. I mean, that's the best thing you can say about it is that it's a starting point issue. And really, you don't have to know anything about the character in order to go ahead and, you know, be able to.
Well, and that, I mean, just for one more brief second on it, I wasn't 100% sure when I started reading it if it was like a retelling, you know, because I'm like, okay, so they're gonna tell us like how gets the ring again? Is that what's going on here? Is it a flashback? And then they just kind of set it up and. You know, that wasn't in, of course, but it was just kind of misleading there at the beginning for me. I was like, what are they doing?
Right.
Where's this going?
What's happening?
We already know what this is. But.
Yeah. Liam Sharp, his art, it reminds me of like if you put you know who Steve Scrooge is? You're like We Stand on Guard and
yeah.
Yep. He's got a similar like detailed but he uses kind of like a muted like palette, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But then he put in like hyper detail, like so if it was like Steve and like George Perez, if they combined, like, you know, that's what I feel like Liam Sharp's art is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We had a question here. Daniel Ibarra says, "What is everyone's thoughts on Mark?" It's Mark Roman quitting from CBS. Surprising, sad. You know, he's a really nice guy. He's been like the liaison for anybody who's been at AW. You know, getting everybody their forms. Yep. He announced it earlier in the week via Facebook. And he's just been kind of that person that has been the face of the company. You know, obviously you have like Steve Ricketts and you know, Steve Borak, you know, as well. But Mark's like there at all the cons, all the tables where CBS is. I bet you 80% of the time Mark was there too. You know, so a lot of people have built that like professional relationship with him, friendships, and just generally good guy. You know, I interacted with him a few times. All, you know, pleasant. He's the one who sent me my forms and answered my stupid questions when I was first doing the AW thing. So that being said, you know, people come and go from companies, and we all wish him the best. You know, don't know where he's going to be going to. At least I don't. But I'm sure he'll have a lot of good character witnesses.
I wonder if he's going to CGC. Wouldn't that be a trip?
Yeah.
His thing, he had kind of made it clear that he was stepping away from grading, you know, he was just kind of, you know, had enough of it for a while. Not that he was angry or bitter or anything like that. He just wanted to kind of go somewhere different.
Yeah.
I'd have to read that because I didn't know that, and I usually get all of the posts on that Facebook group.
It was a long, like, I mean, it was a really long message that he had sent out.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Does it have something to do with this transition, this move to Dallas? No, nobody knows?
It doesn't say. I have it here.
Okay.
After hard, long consideration, decided to leave and pursue other interests in a different field. So there you go. He's not going to CGC.
This one says PGX.
Yeah. Says, I'll miss doing one of the best jobs in the world. I'm very glad to consider so lucky. And this is important too. If you're at AW or, you know, thinking about it, CBCS will be assigning a person in the near future to oversee any ASP, which is an authentic signature program, on a full-time basis after he leaves. However, that person is not in place. They do have an interim person you can send. There's the email there. It's online. Signing approvals and stuff. So there is somebody that you can reach out to. So for the time being, though, no new witness applicants will be considered. Either for there's the facilitator one and the personal use one. They're not doing either one. After November 10th, which is coming up pretty close. Just continue to send in requests if you're in good standing. If you're already in the program, right? And that's pretty much it. Just said going on to another field. Loved what he did. Time to move on. CBCS will be fine without him. And here's my handoff.
He's gonna do baseball cards or Beckett.
I don't know what I think he was like a lawyer or something before this. I know he was in the Army. I think it was, or one of the armed forces. I think it was Army.
He's just chilling out.
Air Force. He was Air Force. Yeah. So we'll see. Kind of like came out of nowhere though. To be like, I don't know. So we'll see. We'll keep you guys posted as we know. You know, if anything comes up important, you know, if you guys hear anything or want to ask a question, we can look it up or research it and get back to you.
Can I before you close out, can I show you guys something?
Yeah.
Let me share my screen because we were talking about bad art just a minute ago, and I think Rob Liefeld does it again.
Oh boy, that's gonna be good.
So you see this Champions variant cover that he did, right?
Yeah.
You guys see my screen? Okay, so check this out. I don't know if anybody ever paid attention to this, but okay, so look at Beast. Okay, so you see the Beast?
Yep.
Now when you scroll down, look at his feet. And look at the alignment of the big toes.
Yeah,
the big toe.
He just copied.
Oh,
It's
no.
backwards.
They're both going the same way.
Yeah.
That big toe is supposed to be over here with this one, way over here.
He's just saying he can't dance. He got 2 left feet.
That's right.
Oh my god! My shop worker, she
funny.
pointed this out to me, and I was like, "What?" I had to look. I was like, "What? He still can't do feet right?"
That's funny.
That's not him feet right. That's just him being lazy and putting the same exact drawing and just like I'll just change the shadow and that's it.
He was in Photoshop and he like cut and pasted the shape of it or something.
Yeah, or if you're gonna do that, have one of the characters that wears boots do that.
Yeah. That's funny.
So, that's what I wanted to show. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. He's just one of those guys. I mean, at this point, he can draw things as messed up as he wants, and he's still paid over and over again. And people was like, "Can you still do a variant brush?" Like, yeah, no problem.
Yeah. I'll tell you something though. Rob Liefeld, man, he was the '90s.
Yeah.
And I love my '90s books.
Yep.
And if you ever met Rob or like listen to him talk, that dude is infectious. Like, we're fans, but he's like next level. Like, it's infectious, you know. Like, you can't help whatever he's working on. He's talking about it. You can't help but be excited right there with him. You know, It's pretty cool. Like the what was it? A couple years ago, I guess. Justin via Comic Book was able to do an interview with Rob. Right? You remember that?
Yeah,
I'm sure you do. Yeah. And that was a really great, and like he just went on and was talking about the movie and like his history and stuff, and it was just like
he doesn't
was excited, you know.
Yeah,
it's like a little kid in a candy shop when he started talking about this stuff.
Yeah, he's just got so much energy about everything.
So,
it really is infectious. You get pumped up about what he's talking about, so he does a good job at that. I mean, it was also a great interview. It was supposed to be like 30 minutes. It went like an hour. You know,
So, that's when you have a good interviewee.
Yeah, I mean,
we didn't really questions. Yeah.
Well, that was the thing is you didn't even really have to ask that many questions. You just asked one, and he just starts going. It's awesome.
That's good. That's awesome. Yeah. So we joke about his art and stuff, but you know, I like the guy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, as much as people will dog on him for it, man, it's just like, you know, for somebody who supposedly can't do it or whatever, he fooled everybody because he's still out there doing it and he's got paid a lot of money for it. So you know what? You gotta take your hat off to him. You can't sit there and think, this guy sucks. Well, he might suck, but he's laughing all the way to the bank.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, when I said I didn't mean like he's like the only like artist from the '90s. You know, there's so much good stuff. You know,
right, I think a lot of people don't like to give him credit because they're like, well, his stuff isn't that, but it doesn't matter. Like he literally worked. I mean, he was good enough to catch the eye of Marvel and let them give him the X-Men for his first stuff to work on.
Right. I mean, he was good enough that they said only to him and only to Jim Lee come back and like save us. Right. Help us out.
Exactly. It's just like, you know, so that's what I'm saying. Like I mean, even Jim Lee can't say they gave him the X-Men to work on first. Like they didn't give him the X-Men to work on first. I mean, you know, he had to bounce around a little bit.
Oh yeah, when he started out, he took New Mutants. He took a book that was going to be canceled anyway. So, and they gave them creative freedom, which you know, enabled him to blow up with Deadpool and all that other stuff. So he wasn't as controlled.
I'm almost positive that Liefeld started out on on the X-Men title first. Like he started out on Uncanny, and then
but
he was like around like 245 was a big issue he did.
Yeah.
It's just like it's crazy though, because just like I mean, at the time, the X-Men was like, you know, that was the book to be on. Like everybody wanted that one, and it's just like, no, we'll give it to him. And at the time, like I mean, he wasn't known for much, if anything at all. And it's just like, you know, so it's just like you know, and he went ahead and I'm not saying that like, you know, I'm not saying that I love his art or anything like that. What I'm saying is just that he's it's like one of those things where, you know, even though a lot of people don't, you can't deny him. It's just like it's like me being from Boston and being a Red Sox fan. It's just like no matter what happens, I can't sit there and say, hey, look, you know, if someone asks me about Derek Jeter, I can't be like, well, he sucks and that's it. Like no, just, you know, the guy was an amazing player. I mean, he just was on the wrong team. If he had been a Red Sox player, I would have been a huge fan of him.
I think of Brady. Like the balls have been inflated for a long time now, and they're still doing great.
It's the way it goes. It's like, that's just how it all is. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people can, digging them in actually brings Frank Miller. People will give Frank Miller shit, and Frank Miller,
Frank.
people are like, oh, Frank Miller, this.
Frank.
You can't deny that the fact that he had some great stuff. When he was in his prime doing it, he had some really good stuff and innovative stuff, and he earned his place as in comic book lore because of what he did. So
Frank, like we're talking about the 90s people. For Frank, like he was one of the definitive people of the Bronze Age. I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, he got to work on it so long. He got to ride that success until he actually literally broke and destroyed it. And then and even then people still will go back and but his Daredevil stuff was incredible, and the stuff that he did with Batman was awesome. And I mean, people can just go and say all these different things that he did that were very good. And the thing is, say the same thing with Liefeld. Stuff on the New Mutants was really good. Stuff on, like some of his stuff with the X-Men was, pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of stuff he was involved in that people even though it might not have been the best drawn. And I think what happens is a lot of people look to him when he kind of started getting arrogant. Because that's what I think it is. I think he just started getting arrogant because he was making a lot of money. And then when Marvel asked him back, he's like, I can draw whatever I want. You guys came to me, so I'm going to just draw this however I feel like. And then that's when people started being like, oh, look how bad this is. And it's just like,
Well, at that point, I think he left, or he was kicked out of. He was kicked off of the board from Image.
No. Yeah. He that's the thing. He wasn't kicked out. He actually left and did his own thing. He was
Frank?
Talking about Rob Liefeld?
Yeah, he was the first.
Liefeld, yeah.
He was the first one to bounce and make his own thing. Like,
you know what though? He did. He made his own studio, but to fund it, he was taking the money from Image to fund his own studio. They had a huge issue with that. Yeah.
Like if you watch that documentary that they have, like I mean, there's a couple of different ones that I had seen, but like he basically admits I kind of stabbed him. I mean, he didn't say he stabbed him in the back. He said I went and I did this, and then you get Todd's perspective, which is like, no, he went ahead and screwed us. And
he left on his own, but because he knew that they were going to vote him out anyways.
No, it wasn't.
So
it was that he had content, and he knew what he was developing, and they wanted him to bring it in, like we'll have more content for Image, and he was like, why should I do that? I'm getting I should be getting this. But this is my stuff. It had nothing to do with you. And so I think they all had an agreement to an extent that they weren't going to do anything like that. Like they were just going to keep everything in house together. And Liefeld's like, no, I can get paid more money doing this. This is what I'm going to do. I'm out. And Todd went ahead and they held a vote after the fact because he was pissed. He was mad at him for doing what he did. So that's how all that went down. Like that's how everything kind of got crazy. But in a way, it semi helped Image because then they had to go to other people to get content. That's how you got The Walking Dead and other stuff like that, where they were just like, look, we're gonna open this up, everybody's gonna be creator owned and all the rest of it, and that's how you got extra different artists coming into it, and then those guys were able to step back from their success and do other things.
I want to show you guys something that I hate.
Uh-oh. Seeking Emmett does not like good old Liefeld. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah, that's a Frank Miller thing.
Picture of Wonder Woman by Frank Miller.
Like a crackhead.
It's the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, like how could he think that was okay enough to I'll send this in.
And then someone approved it and said, that is our cover. Of all of these submissions, we're picking that one.
Do you know why, though? Yeah. It's all because of his status. And that's it. And they're like, look, we paid this guy a whole bunch of money to do this. We're not gonna, we're not gonna tell him to revise it. He's probably gonna tell us no. That's the best we're getting. Put it out.
That's right. Yeah.
That's it. And that's the thing. I mean, luckily, guys like Neil Adams and stuff like that, they take enough pride and they're not that. I mean, behind the scenes they may be extremely arrogant and like, dude, I'm Neil Adams. I know what I'm doing. I'll make you a cover. You can't say nothing about it.
Rick James, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. he's got that. Maybe he has that kind of attitude, but where Neil Adams differs from those guys is that he's like, I cannot put my name on something that looks like that. I will never do something like that. That's disgusting. This is what I'm gonna be able to do.
Trying to just stick to writing.
But in life, it's like we're just gonna put out whatever we want, and just make sure the check is made out to me. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. So. All right. Cool. So, what do you get coming up on your channel? Anything new in the next few days or next week before we come back with a new episode?
Just video of haul and some books that I gotta show.
Yeah.
Just trying to get that back into the swing a little bit myself.
Yeah.
I kind of took a little bit of a brief little break on my own, just kind of, taking some time to get some things organized and stuff. So
recharge the batteries.
Yeah, it just how it goes.
Yeah.
But, gonna get back to it and show some stuff that I've been picking up, over the past like 2 weeks or so. So that's coming up.
Cool. Sounds good. How about you, Edwin?
I hope to get a couple videos out real soon. Other than that, I'm still focused on my little project I'm working on, and hopefully I'll have some news in the next week to 10 days for everybody. But other than that, not much else.
Can't wait to hear about it.
For shizzle.
Yeah.
Word.
Right. How about you, Ed, or Justin? What do you got coming up? Any new videos for me, man? What's going on?
Soon. New videos soon. I'm hoping this weekend. That's my goal.
When you say soon, I have this image of like this like angry cat on a chair with like a piece of tuna at Thanksgiving. And it's like staring at it like soon. Be mine. I don't know.
Soon.
That's all right. Soon. Yeah, that's how my mind works. Anyways. Cool. Okay.
Stuff. I got to get back in the swing of things for sure too. But but then also Saturday I'm going to go watch the Pro Tour Magic players next week. Check that out. Try to sell some more cards. I will tell you what, selling cards is more fun than playing. It's like,
see, I feel like Justin's been focusing too much on the cards instead of comics.
Oh, whatever. We haven't done anything in like a month.
Yeah.
Hey, man, just gotta take some time to have some fun, man.
That's right. Cardboard.
Perfect timing for it.
Rectangle cocaine. It's awesome.
Cardboard cowboy. Cool. So yeah, okay, cool. Be looking forward to that. I've been taking a break too, work and stuff. I got a couple of videos coming up. One of my haul, and I took some footage inside a couple of the stores. So I'll put that together. I'm still got to put together that video I've been talking about for a long time now. Another in my history series. And I'm going to a convention on Saturday, so I'll get some footage from that. Got my press pass locked and loaded, so maybe I'll be able to sit down with the chat and have a chat. Maybe some other people. That's how I call William Shatner, the chat. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for my show. I mean, my channel. And so that's pretty much it, guys. That's all the time we got for today. So thanks for choosing to spend your evening back here once again with us. We're continuing to try to be number one source for news and reviews and entertainment on Thursday nights in this space here on the tubes. So we appreciate you guys coming back with us after our break. The chat is always a great time. The questions, the funny comments, keeping us on point. Our official fact checkers are always doing their thing there. And a big shout out to the folks who have done super chats in the past. Shout out also to Brian B, who won the contest tonight. So there's my shout outs. And as a reminder, we are live here only on YouTube Thursday nights, but you can actually take us on the go. This will be available on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play, all that tomorrow. So be able to listen, just stream, search JLS Comics. It's probably the easiest way to find it. And then once you listen here or there, leave us a comment. Let us know you stopped by. Add to the conversation, continue it down there. And if it's your first time here, subscribe, hit the bell. You can also check out everybody's channels. We all have our own channels, so subscribe there too. Great content going up all the time, as we just said. A lot of stuff coming up for you in the future. And finally, I know I said a lot, but don't forget to check out your other resources, comicbook.com and comicfrontline.com. So there you go. That's it, everybody. Have a great night, and we will see you all very soon.
Thanks, everybody.